Welcome back to episode number 59 of the EZ Auto Talk podcast. And today the topic is...
It's basically never buy a brand new car with bad or poor credit.
Right. So the reason for not buying a brand new car is not because brand new cars are bad cars or anything like that. Of course, that's not the reason.
Yeah.
So the reason is... So the podcast, mainly our objective is just to help out people to make smart decisions, to make good decisions that are going to help them in the future when buying a car.
Correct.
Because it's not always super easy to make the right decisions. Maybe there are many factors and many things that make something seem good, and at the end of the day, it's not good for you. It's not going to be good in the long term. So that's pretty much what this podcast is, just trying to clarify everything about a car purchase and how to do it in a smart way, even if you have bad credit, especially if you have bad credit.
Right. Because the thing is, okay, first, it's not easy, okay, to get approved for a brand new car if you have bad or poor credit. But let's say this is obviously with this scenario that you do get approved, okay? Income tax time, you have some cash available, you have $3-4 grand, whatever, you have available, and it's enough money for you to put a down payment in a new vehicle. Wow, that's very exciting, right? Yes, I have bad credit, and this dealership approved me for a brand new car. I'm going to be the first owner. I have the money down. I think I can afford the payment, okay? Let's do it. Let's sign the papers, okay?
Yeah,
very
why
exciting.
not? In that moment, the person is thinking,
so
why would I go and buy a used car? I just got approved for a new car.
Correct. I don't have to worry about mechanical breakdowns, this and that. Okay, so this is the scenario, talking numbers. Let's say the vehicle, okay, which I think is a good average, a selling price of $20,000 for a brand new car. Let's say you're not buying a compact, you're buying something nice, okay? I think a Toyota Camry.
Okay.
I think they're around that price. Whatever. $20,000, okay, for a brand new car. This is the selling price, so it's not the out-the-door price. You have to take into consideration the taxes, whatever. So let's do the example that out the door, okay, including the taxes, the fees, whatever, the vehicle comes to $23,000 out the door. And I'm rounding numbers, okay?
Gotcha.
They tell you, look, I can get you in this vehicle, brand new car, okay, with $2,000 down. Wow. Look, that's very exciting. I have bad credit. I only have to put $2,000 down. They approve me. So for 60 months, okay, because on brand new cars, banks, they do a large term.
Yeah.
To try to make it affordable, long term, 6-7 years. Okay, I've even seen them offering like 72 months, which is insane.
Exactly.
So right now we're not doing the worst case scenario actually. So we're doing a 60 months term. So the loan is for 60 months, which is 5 years.
Which is a pretty normal.
It's normal
loan for those.
but it's not the worst.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's normal.
It's normal. Okay, so this is not the worst case scenario, because it could be even worse.
Yeah. I'm saying that's something normal. That's
standard.
It's standard that brand new cars are financed for that amount.
The monthly payment average is gonna be almost $600, $580 and with you financing, this is how much you owe on the vehicle day one. About $20,000, about $20,000, $21,000. This is how much a bank is financing you with the $2,000 down payment, okay? So your payoff on the vehicle, day one, $21,000. But that's not where the problem is, okay? Because whatever you owe on the car, you could potentially owe the same as someone buying with excellent credit, because the value of the vehicle is not determined by your credit. Okay, one thing. If the bank is able to approve you for whatever car it is, it's not going to be the selling price of the vehicle. It's not going to be based on your credit. You understand that, right?
Right.
So the amount financed, it could potentially be the same for someone with bad credit or excellent credit. Sometimes the factors, they have incentive, where they'll give you rebates and stuff like that, which you have to have prime credit, okay? But let's forget those.
Yeah, make it as simple as possible so people don't get confused.
So you're financing, that's what you owe. Now, if you have bad credit, okay, the bank is not going to give you a low interest rate because you're high risk, okay? So let's give it, again, and this is not the worst case scenario. I'm actually going to change the monthly payment. So the monthly payment is going to be $480. That's $100 less. Mm-hmm. With a 15% interest rate, mm-hmm. which is not the highest, because mm-hmm. here in Florida, I think it's up to 28%. So legally, the lender can charge you more. But let's do the example that is only 15% because it's a new car. Mm-hmm. All right? Now, on that amount that you're financing, $20,000 you're financing over 6 months, okay? Your interest rate alone is about $9,000. Mm-hmm. That's $9,000. You're just interest rate.
Right.
That's insane. So, and the worst thing, okay, is because every time, just like how auto loans work, every time you make a payment, every time you make a $480 payment, not the full amount goes to the principal.
Most of it goes to the interest.
Interest at the beginning.
At the beginning. The way the loans...
auto loans.
Yeah, the way they work is you start paying off mostly interest. So your $400 payment, 300 and something is going to be just interest, and then a small amount is going to be paid on the principal. And remember, the principal of the car is what you want to pay off. It's the amount that you finance. Interest Correct. Is just money that you're paying for borrowing the money. Mm-hmm. So that's how they start out, and when you get to the middle of the loan, that's when it evens out. You pay half and half, and then you start paying more principal and less interest.
Exactly.
So what can happen then, or what is going to happen there, for example, in that case that Jackson is saying, what was the length? 60 months?
60 months, 5 years.
5 years. So with that interest, with that much interest that you're paying on that car, paying so much interest at the beginning, what it's going to do is that it's going to be hard for you to have some equity on that car.
Exactly.
For 2 years. No, for more than two.
More.
Yeah, for more
Almost
than
towards
2
the end.
For more than 2 years, you're not going to have equity on that car. And you might be saying, what does that mean? What is that? So what that means, equity is that you owe less than what the car is worth. So in that you owe, is that right? You owe.
Equity is that you have equity that you can
have that
money in your favor.
You owe less than what the car is worth. So if you don't have any equity on the vehicle that you owe, it's harder.
Yeah.
To trade it in, to sell it, because how are you gonna sell it if the car is worth less than what you owe?
Yeah, pretty much like it's gonna be impossible to get rid of that debt.
Exactly. So it's a huge problem. When you first got the car, it wasn't a problem because, okay, payments are good. I can do this a month. I have the down payment. I'll worry about it whenever it comes. But the thing is that it's going to be 2 years, 3 years that you're pretty much stuck on that car. No trading, no selling it, no way to get rid of that car. Only keep paying it for 3 more years.
Yeah. And think about that, during those 3-4 years, you're driving the vehicle. So value is still going down, and you're mainly paying interest. I'm going to pull up something really, which is called the amortization schedule, to show you an idea. So on the example, basic numbers, okay? On what I was just telling, a $20,000 selling price. So, you're out the door $23,000. You're doing $2,000 down, so you're financing $21,000, give or take, a little bit here, a little bit more, whatever. Not a big difference, okay? So you are on a 60 months term, 15%. You're about almost $9,000 interest, okay? Mm-hmm. So with $480 monthly payment, so you owe the first day, you owe about $21,000. 1 year, actually 2 years, which is 24 months, okay? Making $480 payment, multiplied by 24, that's 2 years. So you have paid $11,520. You want to know how much you owe after 2 years? How much you still owe? You still owe $14,000 on the vehicle. It's 2 years old, and you already probably put 30,000 miles on the car. So that vehicle, you're buried in that car,
right?
Like completely buried.
Because that car is not worth that. That's what it means.
So because you have bad credit, you're financing for long term with high interest rate. Even if this is only 15% interest.
Yeah, and even if the interest is not 15, but it's good. It's rare that you're gonna get approved for less than that having bad credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you have to think about, yes, always exciting. Look, I'm buying a brand new car. Look, how fancy it is. But is it the smart decision to make when you have poor or bad credit?
Right.
Is it going to help you rebuild your credit? That's the question. Is it going to help you keep moving forward in life, saving money, whatever? Probably not.
And is it going to put you in a better place for when you want to upgrade your vehicle, when you want to change? Probably not.
Totally
it's
not.
going to take longer.
Totally not, yeah. What happens if a repossession comes in place? Now you have, 15, whatever. So maybe we're a little bit biased here, you know what I mean?
Right.
But we're trying to help people out, and it's not an easy decision, because you have a lot of options. But again, that's why we tell people, look, if you have poor or bad credit, work on your credit. You don't have to buy a brand new car right now. Right? You don't have to.
Yeah.
Do you have to? No, probably not. The same car, a 5-year older vehicle, 10-year older vehicle is still going to do the same thing. It's going to take you to point A to point B.
Yeah.
Work on building your credit, Make payments. Work with a dealership, with a buy here, pay here dealership that is going to report the payments.
Right.
So 2 years down the road, maybe you paid off the vehicle from that buy here, pay here dealership. Now you have equity that you can trade in for a new car, for the new car that you want. And now you're going to have a better credit.
Right.
Because it's going to show a vehicle paid off.
So you can do that. And like we have said in many podcasts and all the time, if it's a good buy here, pay here, that is going to help rebuild your credit. But if not, my recommendation is, depending on your situation, but if your situation is really bad credit-wise, and if you have some knowledge or you have any other way to build your credit out, you can also just buy a cash car. You don't even have to finance a car. You don't even have to go to a buy here, pay here and finance a car. You can do that and still build your credit out So that way you can position yourself, help your credit before you go and do something like that. You have to be smart about those decisions.
Yeah. So especially, I mean, if you want to keep moving forward in life and you care about your credit, you know, again, it's not because we're against brand new cars. It's just that because numbers don't make sense. That's the thing, and they're really gonna put you in a worse spot than you are today.
The
That's
likelihood, the likelihood that you're gonna stay with that car the full 6 years,
no way.
I mean, it's
Very small.
yeah, there's not a big chance that you're gonna make all those payments for 6 years on that car, and then that's when you're gonna say, hey, okay, I'm gonna change my car. And even if you do make the whole payments, you already paid a lot of money for that vehicle.
Yeah, almost 30 grand.
Yeah, and it took you 6 years to build your credit or to do all that work. I don't know how much money. So that's not a smart path to do if you want to progress, if you want to help out, if you want to build your credit. There are other ways that you can do it. And if you do it in a different way, then you're going to be better off for when you do have a good credit and you do want to go and buy a new car.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is fine. It's totally fine.
Right now, a lot of the factories, they're offering 0% interest for like 72 months. Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Regardless of the value of the vehicle and all that. But, I mean, you're still better off than buying the same car at 15% interest rate, like I said. So, you know, it's just about making decisions that are good for you. I understand that there are concerns, as far as like mechanicals when you're not buying a brand new car. You have the factory warranty, so you technically don't have to worry about that. Yes, that's a good point. But is it worth $10,000? You
Exactly.
know what I mean? Is it worth that much time, 5 years? Those concerns. I mean, worst case scenario, if you work with a good buy here, pay here, they're going to give you a warranty. They're going to sell you a good car, So get a car for, $350 monthly payment. Save money, put money in your pocket, a vehicle that is reliable, that in 2 years you can trade it in. They'll report 2 years worth of monthly payments on time.
Exactly.
If you make the payments on time. That's a huge increase on your credit score.
Yeah, whenever you pay off a vehicle, that's gonna bump your credit.
Yeah,
it's gonna help you a lot. And if you go the new car route, the high interest, that's gonna take you a long time, 6 years for that to happen. If you even make it there, if you go a different route, it's gonna take you much less.
So that was a pretty, which I think it was a pretty easy and a straightforward example of basic numbers on why you should not buy a brand new car with poor or bad credit. Financially, it's not the best decision. Again, it's probably going to put you in a worse spot that you are today. Exciting to get a brand new car, always, But is it good for you? Is it the best decision? Probably not. So
I'll say definitely not.
You definitely.
I don't even recommend to buy a new car for even people that have good credit. So imagine what I think about.
Our point here, okay? This is the point that I'm trying to make. If you have bad credit, poor credit, do not buy a new car. Build your credit first. Find you a reliable and affordable vehicle that you can pay off in 2-3 years. Yes, it's not a brand new car. There are used cars out there, very reliable. That thing is going to drive for a long time. We have a customer the other day come in, driving a 2005 Toyota Camry with almost 500,000 miles. So that's the best decision. Find you a reliable vehicle that is going to do the job to take you from point A to point B, point C, D, E, whatever. That you can make the payments on time, report to your credit, help you build your credit score in 2-3 years down the road. Go back to the new car dealership with a 700 credit score, and boom, you can buy your brand new vehicle with low interest rate if you want, and you can make a better decision for your life.
Right.
That's what I recommend.
Yeah. That's simple. And it's the same thing that we have always tell in pretty much all of the podcasts is, before you make a decision like that, do not rush into it, especially because you want to make a smart decision to help build your credit. I don't know how to say how important it is that you build out your credit and that you take the proper actions and make good decisions. Do your research before you go into a car loan. What is the interest? What is the principal?
Understand how auto loans work.
Yeah, exactly. So do your research. You need to know what is interest, what is principal, how does the loan work? Why am I paying this much on this and on that? You have to understand everything before you get into it, because otherwise you're just not helping yourself. Yeah.
So that's what we have for today. I think it's a pretty bold and interesting topic. You know, it's right there in the fence. You know, like I said, always buying a brand new car. Yes, it's exciting, but is it the best decision for you? No. So if you have any other question, look again. I cannot stress enough. If you guys have any question, you know, the purpose of this podcast is not to sell cars. It's just to bring value to potential customers, people looking into buying a car, because we realize a lot of people don't know how auto loans work and how they can, you know, make a better decision. So that's what we're here for, to help people out, answer questions and all that. So if you have any question, call us, email us, comment below, whatever you want to do.
And that's it.
All right. See you.